Okay, let's get right into it. If you're building anything with AI right now, you've probably hit this exact question. Do I use a simple large language model, or do I need to build a whole complex AI agent? It can feel like a really tough call, but honestly, it doesn't have to be. So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down so you can pick the right tool for the job every single time. So to get our heads in the right space, let's start with a really simple analogy, one you've probably experienced yourself: ordering a coffee. Picture this. You walk into a coffee shop and you say exactly that to the barista. Now, you haven't given them a specific drink order, right? But what you have given them is your intent. And how they respond to that intent? Well, that's everything. And that leads us to two totally different paths. Over on the left, you've got what we can call the agent approach. This is a whole multi-step process. The barista asks you clarifying questions. Do you want dairy? What size? How hot? It's a full-on workflow. But then on the right, you've got the LLM approach. The barista just gets it. They intuit your intent and say, sounds like you want to try latte. Boom, one shot. And this really highlights a key lesson. Sometimes we build these super elaborate systems when a simple, direct prompt would have gotten us the answer way better and way faster.
Awesome. So with that coffee shop idea fresh in our minds, let's get a little more formal and properly meet the AI tools we're talking about today: LLMs and agents.
So first up, the large language model, the LLM. Think of things like GPT-4. These models are absolutely fantastic at single-shot tasks. You ask a question, it answers. You need some text generated, it writes it. You need something summarized, it does it in one go. You ask, it answers. It's simple, it's direct, and is incredibly powerful.
An AI agent, on the other hand, is a whole different kind of beast. It's more like a little AI assistant that you set loose. It doesn't just answer a single question. It can actually plan things out, it can reason, and it can take multiple different steps to get to a goal. It might go search the web, or run some code, or talk to other tools, all by itself. And this is the really crucial point here. An agent isn't something totally separate from an LLM. Most of the time, agents use an LLM as their brain. But they add these critical layers right on top: planning, the ability to use tools like APIs and databases, and of course, autonomy, that power to decide what to do next all on its own. Really, think of an agent as an orchestrator.
Okay, so we know what they are. Now for the million-dollar question: when on earth do you use which one? Well, here's a super simple framework that should help you decide.
This little table really breaks it down perfectly. Let's just walk through it. First, task complexity. If it's pretty low, an LLM is your best friend. If it's high and has a lot of moving parts, you're probably going to need an agent. How about the number of steps? Is it just one thing you need done? LLM. Is it a whole multi-step workflow? Agent. What about tool integration? Do you need to connect to APIs or databases? That is a job for an agent for sure. No tools needed? Just stick with the LLM. And finally, speed. You need a fast, direct result right now? The LLM is almost always going to be the winner.
All right, theory is great and all, but let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the real world. Let's put it to work with a few quick-fire examples.
Okay, first scenario. You need to write a blog post. What do you think? LLM or agent?
Yep, that is a classic job for an LLM. It's a single creative task. You give it a good prompt, and it generates the text for you. Simple, clean, and super effective. Okay, let's try something a little more involved. You need to research your competitors, then compile all of that data into a document, and then you have to email that report to your team. For that, oh yeah, you'll definitely want an agent. That is a textbook multi-step workflow. It requires reasoning, planning, and using different tools for the research part and for sending that email.
Let's dig into a more detailed business case now, and we can really see how this stuff builds out. Financial forecasting.
Okay, so if your job is just to analyze a data set that you already have, an LLM is perfect. A prompt like, hey, summarize the performance trends in this data set is a direct single-step request. The LLM will look at the data you gave it and give you insights.
But the agent's task, well, that's an entire orchestration process. Look at this. It pulls fresh data from a database. It runs a forecasting model. It generates a chart from the results, and then it emails the final report. This is a totally autonomous workflow connecting multiple tools. A perfect job for an agent. Let's lock this concept in with one final, pretty technical use case: IT incident response.
The LLM use case here is super direct and informational. An engineer sees some weird alert and just asks, what does this specific error code mean? The LLM gives them a fast, accurate explanation. It's basically a knowledge lookup.
But this is where an agent just blows you away. It's not just answering a question, it is solving the problem from start to finish. It detects the error, it finds the root cause, it automatically fixes the issue, it notifies the right people on the team, and it even generates a report about what happened. It's a full autonomous response system.
So after seeing all of this, what's the big takeaway? Well, it might actually be a lot simpler than you think.
The next time you're starting a new AI project, I want you to just ask yourself this one simple question. Do I really need an agent for this? Because a lot of the time, a really well-crafted prompt to a powerful LLM can get the job done faster, cleaner, and with way less complexity. And that really brings us to our final and most crucial point. Don't overcomplicate things just because you can. Sometimes the most elegant solution is the most straightforward one. Just remember this: simple is powerful.